All right, Laura, let's review your snatch. We got 60 kilos on the bar. I like the start position looking better. Still losing a little posterior connection. You see it a lot more in the bottom when you catch. Your knees and hips shoot forward. Good. Okay, I think I have a good idea of where we're losing tension. So we're doing a good job of finding vertical compression. By that, I mean just down and up, right? As we set up, we go down into compression. So this vertical compression here is good. You're getting a lot of tension in that glute and loading the legs. But what we're not getting enough of is lateral compression. See how like right here it's skinny, your knees get skinny, but here it's a little bit wider. I need you to find that wider position here to find the connection on the sides of your glute more. That way we can hold more depth. We can have more depth as we go up, but it gets long because your knees get skinny. So we need more external rotation in the knee, and your toes need to track with your toes need to track with your knees. Wherever your knees go, your toes should track with it, so they all stay connected in this all together. So again, compression's good vertically, but we need more lateral, a wider base essentially. The only problem with that, finding a wider base here, is your arms are in the way a lot. So it's gonna be difficult to find that position. So what I would do is bring your narrow your stance just a little bit, and then point your toes and knees out. So get a little bit skinny a little bit skinnier with the legs, narrower, and then get wide with the knees and toes. That's how we can find better lateral base and compression without other body parts getting in the way. And on top of that, you can bring your hands out just a fraction wider. And I mean just a fraction, just a little bit on each end. Okay? And because you don't have enough lateral compression or a lateral base, a wider base, by the time you get to your hip, you're stood up too much and your hips start to come forward and roll through. And it's also hard to get your knees out of the way, even though you do a pretty good job there. But you see here, you have connection from your feet to your calves, but from your hamstring to your glute, you don't have a strong connection there. And that's because your base gets really narrow in the knees, in the lower body, especially from here above to knee. Like this is where we need to really get wide, okay? Because as we go up, I'm saying wide, get wider. We're not actually gonna get wider really, because we're standing up, our legs are gonna get longer, but I want you to feel like they're getting wider. They're getting wide and long at the same time. So there's kind of a counteraction going on there. So once you find a wider base, so by the time you get to the hip, we'll have more depth in this position right here. And you'll have more connection in the glute as well. You'll be able to hold the glutes back longer from going forward, the hips from going forward. Then we'll be in a balance to produce more power and catch in the balance without this little shift here. See how we catch it? And we're just not in the posterior chain enough here. It's anterior loaded. Therefore, it's gonna make you go upright, a little bit more upright in the catch than you want. And then you go into external rotation. Those are all the factors that cause this position here, okay? Some things we need to work on, but like I said, I think you have limitations. You have a lot of not a lot, but you have a little bit of limitations in the hips, but that's because of the weakness of the glute and hamstrings. Because you're able to find it here. It's just when you go overhead, you can't, because you never set it up for you to get into a position like that. You're getting anterior here, so you're gonna catch it in the anterior part of your body, which is the front side, right? All the muscles in the front, your quads, your pecs. Can't have it there. So that's something we gotta work on, giving you a lot of feet stuff, because that's where the connection starts. If you don't have strong connection in the feet, like I was saying, it's gonna be very hard to find strong connection all the way up. right? To the glutes, all the way up to the shoulders, to your neck. That should all be connected in the same chain. So we're going to be doing a lot of posterior work stuff. Your limitation is you lose connection in the glute as you find more compression. But I think if we can just mess around with our foot stance and where they point and finding a little bit more external rotation in the knees, that's going to help you find more depth. And in turn, it's going to help you find more balance.